Happy Wednesday, hump day. Do they still say hump day? How to gather data. Ready to Love season 4. We've seen this I've watched season 2, season 3, season 4. And in the 3 seasons of Ready to Love that I've watched, we see women keep making the same mistakes. I am the person in the comments, the fan, I don't like fans, the cousin in the comments that said all the women did what VERNEISHA did. So I talked about Tandy, Winter, and VERNEISHA. All 40-year-olds making the same stupid, I don't want to say mistake, it's decision, because they have not sat down and learned how to properly date at 40 years old. So for my young ladies, I have to stop saying young ladies who are dating for marriage, you have to learn to gather the data. If you don't have my book, 23 Tests Guys You Might Meet, pick that up. Also, The Naked Wife. If you read The Naked Wife and you hear the ladies telling their story, I have asked just about every woman that I interviewed, why you marry him? Okay? Because based on what you're telling me about how you were dating, it shouldn't have been. Okay? So I'm going to tell you how to gather the data. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up, share this out. If you can share it out on Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Okay, just press share. Also, if you are a member of my channel, please email me for a free book. Jump in my community tab. I put up a little screenshot of my newest book, and I need you guys to vote on it. I need to vote on which cover to use. Okay, so, by the end of today, I need to upload which cover to use. Okay, how to gather the data. I remember when I was in college, and I think it was one of the professors said, college teach you how to do research. Okay. And so when I was in school, we had to do a lot of research. Okay. They said, come up with a thesis and either prove or disprove your point. So let's use diabetes, for example. Thesis: people of color has a higher chance of getting diabetes. I'm going to say it again. Thesis is people of color has a higher chance of getting diabetes. Now, you're going to be emotional. No, we're not. White people get diabetes too. But you didn't listen, okay? You didn't listen. I didn't say white people didn't get diabetes. I said people of color has a higher chance of getting diabetes. Now you would have your bullet points. Why people of color would have a higher chance to get diabetes? They said people of color have a higher chance of getting diabetes because, number 1, hereditary, number 2, dietary needs, and number 3, exercise, right? And then you would do the research and you would see that a lot of people of color families who grandmama had diabetes, great-grandmama have diabetes, grandmama have diabetes, mama have diabetes, no, you have diabetes, okay? And so then you would try to figure out, well, why is that? Because based on what I'm hearing, it is something you can change with lifestyle, your diet, and exercising, okay? And so then you would start digging in and you would see that great-grandmama sent down her recipes to great-grandmother to mother and give it to you, and you're eating the same way. Hello. Them collard mac and cheese. Hello, I love the mac and cheese too, okay? And, them neck bones and cow foot and, all that pig foot and all that stuff. Hello, I'm from the islands, girl. I know all of this stuff. And you would see that the dieting needs are the same. And so what they need to do is to change the way you eat. If you change the way you eat, then you can turn it around, okay? Then you will go and see, wait a minute, grandmama was overweight. Great-grandmama was overweight. Grandmama was overweight, okay? Mama was overweight, and now you're overweight. And so now you start to see that from generation to generation to generation, you kept doing the same thing, so nothing changed, so you continue to get the same results. And so now for this generation, we realize, well, wait a minute. Well, maybe I need to stop cooking like the way grandmama cooked. Maybe I need to cook like that once a month because, we need the mac and cheese and collard greens and grits and all that. We need that, okay? I'm from the islands, okay? Once in a while, I send baby daddy over. Might go over there, get my curry goat, my oxtail. I had some this week, girl. It was so good. Mm-hmm. So you start to realize, okay, if I need to turn this thing around, I need to make some adjustments. I need to maybe not eat as much starch. I need to start exercising a little bit. And perhaps that will help because the doctors tell you. I've known many people who have diabetes or pre-diabetes or whatever, and they changed their eating habits. One of my girlfriends, she was overweight, and she said, Jan, I made it up in my mind. And now she looked like me. She's just about as small as me. And now she's no more. She doesn't have diabetes anymore. So that is an example of how you need to gather the data. The problem with us ladies is when we meet a man, right? We go in saying he's the one. Okay, so that's like saying people of color has a high chance of diabetes, and you just make that fact, but you don't know that for sure unless you do the research. Granted, come with me. We do know that based on research that's out there on the TV, you talk to your doctor, so on and so forth. But if you didn't know that, you would have to prove it. You need to prove it, okay? Men, on the other hand, they go in asking, is she the one? You get it? So they are the ones that's doing the research. People of color have a high chance of diabetes. Okay, why? And so they actually go down the list and they actually look at each list because they are trying to figure that out. Ladies, what I'm saying to you is we need to be more like men in that we're calculated, in that we gather the data. Because we hear Joel says, when VERNEISHA said, I want us to be the first one on the show to get married, in his voiceover, he said, hold up now, wait a minute. Let me figure out if you're the one. And so what Joel was doing is figuring out if she's the one. And so in talking to her, he finds out that she's controlling. Okay, so that's like proving the point. Why is people of color having a higher level of diabetes? Okay, our dietary needs hasn't changed from great grandmama. So we keep on getting the results that great grandmama get. That's him figuring out. That is him. He talked to her and it made me feel some kind of way. You dig? So he's paying attention to how you talk to him. You talk to him and you didn't make him feel good. How many of y'all know we got to make the men feel good, okay? So ladies, the same way the men go in asking, is she the one? We need to also go in, meet the man, and ask ourselves, is he the one? See, that's why I never got in no trouble with no man. Because I was asking, is he the one? And I had my list. I had my list in here of making a decision, is he the one? First of all, when I meet the man, I must find you attractive. I must like you. I must like the way you look. I must like the way you smell. I look at a man's fingernails. Are they clean? I look at his shoes. So this is just like, you're just meeting him and I'm looking and I'm talking to him. I'm looking at his teeth. Okay. Once he passed all that, now I need to know my top 4 is he a born again believer? He's not born again? I don't got nothing else. There's no need to go any further. Okay? If he's not born again, I don't need to go any further. You're not born again. That's my number 1. Sip, drop, and run. We're not moving to number 2 because you're not born again. But what y'all do is overlook everything, and you might like he's tall, so that's good enough. Number 2 for me was he a tither? I know so many Christian women in the Naked Wives that I interviewed that the husband didn't want them to pay tithes and offering because they think the pastor's spending the money. Okay? I don't want nobody like that. I'm a tither. I believe in giving. I believe in blessing the pastor. I believe in taking care of my pastor. Okay? So is he born again? Number tither. So if I met a man who was born again but wasn't a tither, sip, drop, and run. There's nothing else for me to talk about. Neither am I going to try to change your mind or convince you to become one, because that's what women do. We're women. We feel like we can fix them. Number 1 must be born again. Number 2 must be a tither. Number 3 must be a gentleman. I love a gentleman. You see how Sir John was with LaRonda. If you watch Put a Ring on It, I love it. I love it. I love a gentleman. Now, some of y'all be trying to teach the man how to be man, and I'm like, yeah, you ain't never been a man, so how you gonna teach to be a man, okay? So if he was born again, he was a tither, but he wasn't a gentleman, I would drop him, because I'm not about to teach you. Neither am I about to get frustrated, okay? Had to be born again, had to be a tither, had to be a gentleman. Number 4, he had to have a good job. No ifs, ands about it. Must be a man that could provide for me and Lexi, independent of me. That means you don't need my money to take care of me. If you need my money to take care of me, then I don't need you, okay? Because I'm just going to be frustrated that I wanted somebody that could take care of me and you couldn't. So, was born again, tither, gentleman. If he had all 3, but he didn't have a good job, I would sit, drop, and run. Okay? And so that's how you do it, ladies. I know you meet this guy, you're attracted to him, and you want to overlook a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, do not. It's going to come back and kick you in your teeth. So now, once you gather your data, your thesis, you prove your thesis, but people are going to have a higher chance of diabetes because of the hereditary, dietary, and exercise. Now you need to know, how do I fix them? How do I fix these issues? It's the same thing. How do I fix these issues with me being too emotional, not choosing properly, not dating properly? Is just sit down, write your list. What is it that I want in a husband? Get your list ready. No compromise, no settling. Compromise in the sense of settle, because I do believe that we all have to compromise a little, but not in a bad way. Okay? So compromise is, you want to go to Wendy's, he want to go to McDonald's, y'all compromise and go to Checkers. You're still eating, it's just not exactly what you do. You understand? All right, ladies, so this is what I want you ladies to do. Please stop meeting the man and saying he's it. You don't know that. You don't have enough data to prove that. What you need to do is ask yourself, is he the one? And when you ask yourself the question, you need to have the bullet points. He's born again. He's a tither. He's a gentleman. He has a good job. Okay? And so then you kind of decide now, well, if he doesn't have these things, then I need to do what? Sit, drop, and run, because he's not what you want. And we see it every season on Ready to Love with these women, this 40-year-old woman's coming on here acting a fool. 40. This is the 40. All right? 40-year-old woman, the Bible says, Peter, I believe, says, let the older woman teach the younger woman. 40-year-old woman, I want you to know you are older woman. You are older woman because you are a generation away from the 20 years old. Do you know a generation is 20 years? So if you're 40-year-old, you're supposed to be an example and teaching the next generation, which is the 20-year-olds. Okay, Lexi and I are 16 years apart. We're not a generation apart. Lexi and I are like sisters. They see us, they say, they think we're sisters. I have to say, no, that's my baby. Okay, older woman, you think an older woman is 60 years old. No. You're 40. If you're 40, a generation is 20 years. So you're supposed to be teaching the next generation. The 60-year-olds, they're supposed to be teaching us. Not that they can't teach the 20-year-old, but a 20-year-old will take advice from a 40-year-old better than she would from a 60-year-old. Do you understand what I mean? So when you're a 40-year-old woman coming up on the TV acting a fool of yourselves, don't you think of the next generation and say, well, I need to be an example to the 20-year-olds. How do you teach the 20-year-olds not to be foolish women like yourself? At what age do you learn? At what age do you learn and get some wisdom so you can teach the younger generation? I want to know. Drop it in the comment section. I love you. I have to run. Come back. I have a huge surprise for you guys later. Love you. Oh, remember, hey girl, hey cousin shirts are on Etsy. I want some love and attention. Etsy is the newest shop that I set up. I'm on Redbubble. I'm on Teespring. I'm on Etsy. I'm trying to stimulate. So show me love. Run over to Etsy, pick up a shirt or two, and email me your receipt. And I will send you a free book, okay? Yeah, that special goes until this Sunday. Today is July the 14th, 2021. If you make a purchase on Etsy by Sunday of $25 or $22 or whatever, you email me the receipt and I will send you a new book, okay? 10 Years of Girlfriend book. 10 Years of Girlfriend. I'm trying to get some more stimulation. I love you. Gotta go.